Hey everyone, this is Dr. Z. Thank you for taking the time to look at this video. I wanted to go through very quickly on the latest update to MySQL, which is MySQL 8.0.21. Last term, we used MySQL 8.0.14. So in the last few months, they've made a few modifications. Now, not really to the interface of the tool itself, but to a few back-end components. So with that said, I wanted to talk about some additional applications you may want to consider installing prior to installing the MySQL platform. And this only applies to Windows machines. From what I've gathered so far, Linux machines and Macs are perfectly fine with the current install process we have. If you are running into any issues, please feel free to reach out to me through the Canvas inbox or my email that's azentner@coastline.edu, and I can help walk you through this. So one of the first things we want to download is Visual C++, which is a free download from Microsoft. And once again, to reiterate, this is just for Windows users, typically Windows 10. So you'll go and Google download Microsoft Visual C++. It's a Microsoft web page. Now, it'll give you a lot of language on this page. What you want to look at is right here. And so typically you want to go with the x64, especially just because it's the latest version, and it'll work very well with MySQL. So once that's downloaded and installed, your system's going to want to prompt you to restart. Please restart. And so then we'll go to the next step after you're done restarting. Once you're done with that, you're going to want to Google download MySQL. I actually have the link directly included in the class and also an updated video with this information that's step by step. So you want to scroll down, click on this, you'll see a page with a lot of links. So we want to download MySQL installer for Windows. So we'll click, and you have two different options, a 24 megabyte and a 427. We want the full version, so let's go with the 427. So while that installs or downloads, you can log in or sign up. I would suggest no thanks, just start the download. So we'll wait for that to download. It shouldn't take too long. This is the first portion of your assignment. It's just to show that you are able to install MySQL and the MySQL Workbench. And this all comes in a single package together. So you'll see that that's downloaded. And so now what we'll do is you'll see an icon either in your downloads folder or in your desktop, depends on where you have installed it. And so I'll just walk you through the process of this. Sorry for the lag, everyone. My other computer broke, so I'm getting that fixed. That's why I'm trying to reinstall on this device. You're always going to want to allow the app to utilize your system. And like I said, I was worried in the past it was going to lag mine down. It doesn't hold it back whatsoever. And you'll see icons at the bottom of your screen to either turn it on or to turn it off at any time. So you'll see the installer came on pretty quickly. So you have development, server only, client only, full, or custom. Let's just go with full to make sure we have everything. So you'll click next. You'll see that there's everything in there. So we're going to want to execute and to install everything. So while this is installing, I want to talk to you about how the class is sort of set for this term and just explain a few how assignments are going to be set up. We're going to be utilizing 1 to 2 databases this term, where you're going to be able to query data out of that, blend data together, come up with computations, so on and so forth. We're going to start the course very, not slow, but we're going to start it in a way that helps you really build your knowledge in relation to how to write SQL statements. So the first couple classes is really not just going through the motions of installing the software, loading the data files, but primarily also understanding the infrastructure to get there. So for example, when someone makes a data request or an information request, I want to teach you how to change a request into an actual SQL statement. So then it's easy. So when someone ever comes to you, say, I'm interested in sales from, I don't know, clothes or cars or houses, whatever the sale may be, you'll know to select sales amounts from whatever the database would be. So from X table. So let's just say from the house table, or the cars table, or the food table. There's so many different ones. So this takes a little bit of time. I appreciate you just hanging out. Like I said, my computer's not the fastest, but This is what they've given me to use until I get mine fixed. But overall, I would like to also touch on the discussion boards. I know that may be a little bit confusing. A lot of people demand that you have discussions and collaboration all in 1 week on top of your assignments, quizzes, and everything else you have to do. The thought that I have with the course that we're going to be doing is I want to have a primary week where you just focus on your main discussion, collect your ideas, put them down. If you have resources, please share those. And then spend the whole second following week collaborating with others, asking questions, giving them feedback, and really sharing your different insight. I think that will help facilitate your learning a bit further. Now the quizzes are about 20 questions a quiz that cover the information that's directly from the chapter. And so make sure to read the book that's provided, and then we can, like I said, I think that's going to be the best resource for you this entire term is reading through that book. That book was written by one of the most top industry experts. In addition, it's based on the most relevant practices in SQL. So I'm going to pause this video real quick while this continues installing. Now that everything is installed, we're going to go to next. You'll see as everything's ready to configure. We'll go next. We're going to have a standalone database. We're not going to have a cluster or connection of databases together just because this is just going to be a single instance. So there's no comprehensive server we're connecting to. What we're going to look at is set it up. So you can leave it as just development computer. And then it'll say, use a password. So what you're going to do is just make a password you'll remember. So for me, for this class, I would just use like CISC240. Use whatever you want, just don't forget it. Yeah, it's not good, but like I said, I will probably change it if I actually connect it to some real data. And so we'll want to have it in the startup system and a standard account. And so it will record or it will start up every time you start your computer. So you don't have to worry about reconnecting, logging in, and you can actually change that preference. But I just think for the course, it just makes it a lot easier. So we want everything done. So let's execute everything. So like I said, this may take a little bit. I may pause the video again. Maybe it won't take a little bit. I think typically that happens when you're connecting to like a monstrous database or the connection, the firewalls and securities are set up. So now we'll go to finish, go to next. We'll go to finish, next. So CISC240. So remember your password, don't forget that. Next, execute. I know this is kind of a long process, but I promise it'll be worth it. I'm not just gonna run the scripts. Here we go, and finish. Oh my gosh. So start workbench after setup, finish. And I also have Java. I also have a lot of different other programming tools installed. That's why you'll see other things. So this is the goal. This is the end game. This is what you're looking for, is for you to start your MySQL workbench. That's all you need for this assignment. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm available. And usually my 9 to 5 keeps me pretty busy, but I'm always on top of email and on Canvas inbox. So I look forward to a good semester, and thank you again.